go on. All right. Okay, in order for specialization to be beneficial, it must be accompanied by exchange. So first question, explain how benefits to the economy can arise from specialization and exchange. So looking at this question, all right, what kind of question is this? It's a trade question. All right, but if you go to the 2014 paper, if you go to the 2014 paper, you go to the 2014 paper, you can see that this is actually found as question 1. All right, I think most of you by now you should know that section A, that means first 3 questions, is revolving around topics that revolve around mainly on microeconomics. Okay, 4 to 6 usually is on macroeconomics. But you can see that this question here is actually placed in the microeconomics portion. So that means essentially there was 4 macro questions lah. Because if you count international trade as macro, then this one will be seen as macro. But this one, how they classify under here is because opportunity cost. You'll be talking about opportunity cost here. And opportunity cost is a micro. So that's why I say you don't segment or segregate your topics accordingly as the micro, macro. And expect that, I should only see micro question, meaning I should only see demand, supply, elasticity, market failure, market structure. They can very well show you this question here. So you don't get thrown off when you see this question here. So that's one reason why I chose this question. Another reason why I chose this question is because for part A, how should I be answering this part A question? Explain how benefits to the economy can arise from specialization and exchange. Exchange here suggests that we are talking about, exchange here, 2 countries, okay? And what I'm looking out for is actually this term trade. Exchange here means for you to trade. Alright? Okay, need necessarily, usually it's 2 countries, 2 or more countries. Alright? So this question here is basically a question of specialization and trade. How do economies benefit? So what is the best way for me to actually illustrate this? Theory of CA. Which means you need to use your numerical example. So I've emphasized to you the importance of your numerical example. You go and memorize that set of numbers because should they ask for it, you are actually able to replicate it. Alright? And don't try, because I can tell you, if you don't believe me, you try at home. Sit down there without memorizing the set of numbers. You try to come out with your table on your own. Alright, you're going to spend at least 20 to 30 minutes trying to come up with just a table with the suitable numbers before even explaining anything. So if that's what your plan is, then I wish you all the best. Alright? Because people like Brandon, I think, will do that. Alright? Yeah. You do it during prelim, you do it during A-level. Alright? Okay? So numerical example, that's one way. Other way that you can actually do it is through your PPC diagram. But PPC diagram, you may not be so familiar with it as to how countries trade. Okay? So, for this question, I will adopt the numerical example. And numerical example, quite straightforward. Alright, but then, when you talk about this numerical example, question here is benefits to the economy. What are some benefits? You need to talk more about the benefits. Alright, don't just throw your table there and then say, nah, that's my answer. That's not going to be enough. Because that's the feedback from the examiners as well. So if we follow here, candidates adopted one of two equally appropriate approaches. Majority focus on a numerical representation, while others use PPC. Better responses use these analytic tools to give clear explanations of the benefits of both specialization and exchange. Specialization is one. Exchange is another one. What is the benefit of specialization? When you specialize, what happens?
You lower op cost. Yeah.
Huh?
Actually, you're like producing the.
When you specialize, how can you get lower op cost? Your op cost is already there, right? How do you get lower op cost?
You're only producing the lowest.
What do we mean by specializing?
Oh, is it you increase the speed of production and
No. Since when we talk about EOS here?
oh shit.
One particular good, right? And when that happens, what is the benefit of that? Huh? Sorry? Higher world output. Higher world output. Alright? Because this is what we can produce when before trade and before specialization. Look at the total world output, it's 45 and 20. If they were to specialize, and if in this case we assume full specialization, this is what we see instead. 80 and 20. So while cloths remains the same, alright, you are still at least as well off as before, right, for cloth. But wine, you actually increase the amount of output. So this is the benefit of specialization that we want to see. You get what I'm trying to say here? So please don't go and tell me what increased scale, what EOS and then don't know what other thing you mentioned.
But why cannot?
Sorry?
Because like when you specialize, you also like increase the scale.
You increase the scale can. Alright, but right now I'm talking about through the table. What do you want to show? Through the table, you can't show EOS. You can't show
But that's also like a benefit.
benefits.
I mean, if you
Provided that's produced by one firm. Because this, we assume production by one country. It can be spread across the different firms. And we are not even bothered about that when we talk about theory of seeding here. So you should not bring in other irrelevant concepts that are not applicable in this context. Okay? Benefits of exchange would then be, alright, for the individual countries. If you go and compare this set of numbers and the other set of numbers, you can see that with trade or exchange in this context, they're actually able to consume more than before for both countries. But of course, the assumption here is you have actually, when you trade with one another, you need to establish the terms of trade. The terms of trade must be mutually beneficial. It must be favorable for both sides. Okay? So what I've done is I sum up what is necessary for your answer. Essentially, this part here, for your intro, you need to talk about your assumptions. Assumptions here, we talk about two countries. Devoting half its resources, perfect factor mobility within each country. But between countries, there's no perfect factor mobility. Otherwise, there's no need for them to trade at all. Because all they have to do is just move the factor of production over. Alright, no transport costs, no restriction to trade and no currency problem, no emergency or political or strategic reason for a country to produce goods with the highest comparative cost. So this table, alright, you should be able to establish which country has comparative advantage in what good. So this case here for wine, which country has comparative advantage in production of wine? England. How about cloth? Portugal. So based on this part here is just elaborating. So countries said to have CA when they can produce goods at a lower op cost. So with this lower op cost, they can then choose to specialize in the production of the good that they have lower op cost in. So if they do that, this is what we see. Because previously we assumed they devoted half of its resources to the production of each type of good. So previously, England can produce 40 units. So now if they devote all its resources, it will be 80 units. For Portugal, they can produce 10. So if they devote all, it will be 20 units. Alright, so you can see after specialization, world output has actually increased. In this case here, only wine output increased. Cloth at least still the same. So you are still as well off as before. Alright? Cannot. Benefits of specialization. I just repeated myself 2 times. Can Anyone got questions? Because this part here is where students are very weak in, I'm telling you. Based on experience. Comparative advantage, theory of comparative advantage, that's the part where you all have a lot of problems with. Alright, so you need to go and practice enough of this. What's the benefits of exchange? So just now earlier we talked about benefits of specialization. After specialization, you need to do something. Otherwise, you are just stuck there. Alright, that means you only have one type of good. That means England only have wine, Portugal only have cloth. You don't want that situation. You want to make sure that England can also have some amount of cloth, Portugal can have some amount of wine. So what you then have to do is to trade or your exchange. So after specializing, you want to establish trade. And in order for trade or exchange to occur, terms of trade must be mutually beneficial. And a mutually beneficial terms of trade would have to be between the two opportunity costs. So earlier we highlighted that, okay, for your for your cloth, it's between 0.5 and 4 units of wine. So Portugal will not accept less than 0.5, because if I accept less than 0.5, I won't benefit. England is willing to exchange at most 4 units of wine for 1 unit of cloth. They won't want to give up more than that. So they have to come to a common agreement, and let's assume that this is 1 unit for 1 unit. 1 unit of cloth for 1 unit of wine. So in this case here, let's say England exports 10 units of wine to Portugal in exchange for 10 units of cloth. And this is what we see. Alright, for specialization and trade, England consumes 70 units of wine and 10 units of cloth. For Portugal, it consumes 10 units of wine, 10 units of cloth. So both countries are actually able to consume more than before, specialization and trade. Other benefits here that comes along, alright, we talk about your specialization here leading to improved productivity. Your skills of worker improve, PPF shift outwards. Alright. Other benefits from exchange, greater variety. Alright, then exports of goods here can help to boost your AD. And that's all for part A. Any question? So they like to link your trade to your micro part. So be careful. PPC, you need to draw the diagram. You need to draw the diagram. In our lecture notes we have, right, if I'm not wrong. Where's my lecture notes? Let me find. New folder 2. International trade. Your PPC, instead of a concave one, it will have to be a straight one because it's constant of course. That's one of your assumption. Alright? So what happens? Something like that. This one. Because I don't have access to the lecture notes now. So this is one country. Our lecture note don't have. We don't use this. Correct? So one country's PPC, another country's PPC. Alright, so a common point with trade, this point can be consumed because this point here is actually outside, and this point is only possible with trade. Because if you don't have trade, that means this is your country's, let's say country A PPC, country B PPC. You just highlight one point beyond and outside the two countries' PPC. That point is possible because this point is only possible through specialization and trade. So that's how you illustrate. But this one will be a tough way. That's why we don't teach you this way. We teach you the numerical way. Easier. Because people tend to get lost when you show them this diagram. Huh? What? So we prefer to show in terms of diagram. Sorry, in terms of numerical example instead of diagram. Alright? Okay, so you need a break before we move on? Or okay, let's take a 3-minute break. Alright, let's see if I can find my
That's right, you know what it is. You know it.
So I was
All right, question B here. Ask us, all right, very often, these benefits that we illustrated in part A are not fully achieved in domestic and international market. Explain reasons for this. So why is it that sometimes the benefits that we supposedly can see through trade and specialization, why is it not seen in domestic and international market? So what do you think is a key reason why benefits are not seen?
The assumptions do not hold true.
Assumptions do not hold true. So this question you can whack on all the assumptions. Alright, other than that, what else? Because question is domestic and international market. So domestic market, why is it sometimes benefits may not come through? Inefficient allocation of resources, market failure. That's what we bring in as well. Alright, international market, why sometimes we don't see benefits of specialization and trade coming through?
These are not perfectly mobile.
Which is your assumptions lah?
Protectionism.
Protectionism as well. So this answer revolves around that. Alright, so as I go through, you've got questions, you let me know. Alright, but essentially, the key idea of this question, I summarized, and I think most of you got the points are. Alright, I've elicited the points from you so I can move along. Because that shows that you all understand. So reasons why benefits of specialization are not fully achieved in domestic market. So remember, we talked about benefits of specialization, benefits of exchange, benefits of specialization, benefits of exchange. We need to do it 2 times. That means benefits of specialization and benefits of exchange in domestic market. That's 1. Benefits of specialization, benefits of exchange in your international market. That's 2. So you do it 2 times. Okay? So firstly, it could be because of inefficient allocation of resources. FOPs may not be perfectly mobile. I think one of the greatest assumptions in our theory of CA is that factors of production must be mobile within the country. But sometimes, real world, we don't see that the case. Because we want to, for example, in UK, in the example we have right for England, we say that they are supposed to produce wine. But then wine, to produce wine, you need to have grapes. You need to grow your grapes and stuff, right? So your land area or land that you have, not all parts of England is actually suited. The climate. Alright, not every part is suited. So that is one possible hindrance. Another possible problem is the op cost here could have changed. Thus, losing comparative advantage. Comparative advantage, the idea of comparative advantage is that it can be dynamic. Dynamic, what do we mean? That means you can either gain or you can also lose it. Okay? So, for example, if we talk about healthcare sector in Singapore, due to different skills required, not all labor are suitable for this sector. So economy is unable to fully specialize, and as a result of that, country loses its comparative advantage. And as a result, they are unable to enjoy the full benefits of specialization because of that. You could also see control of certain resources by monopoly. Okay, thereby restricting the mobility, be it geographical or occupational. There could also be government regulations in place that restricts certain things from happening. So that's my answer for this. Alright, you can look at the answer key here as well. Alright. Now move along. So for those who want to complete, you can look at the top. Now I move along. Alright, reasons why benefits of exchange are not fully achieved in domestic markets. So now we're talking about benefits of specialization. Now we talk about exchange. Alright, again, it could be because of abuse of monopoly power, inefficient resource allocation. you can talk about market failure. Price mechanism may not function efficiently because of market failure. There could be income inequality, or even quite simply, unfavorable terms of trade. Alright, if it's outside of the range, then that is where you have unfavorable terms of trade, either for one party or the other. Okay? Can? Okay? So, like what I said earlier, you can copy from here. Alright, and I'll move along. If I'm too fast, you let me know. Alright, reasons why benefits of specialization are not fully achieved in the international market. It could arise because there could be emergency, strategic or political reasons. Alright, for example, countries may choose to produce their own poultry rather than import even if they have comparative disadvantage. For safety reason, avian flu, your bird flu. You don't want to depend on buying chicken or chicken that is imported from Hong Kong or China, right? Because these are the countries that have your avian flu or your bird flu. Okay, so even if you have comparative disadvantage, you still produce on your own. Alright? Strategic reasons. You know Singapore, water? Alright? We invest a lot of money on new water, the technology and everything. Because we know water is a vital good, it's a strategic reason as to why we are spending so much on producing our so-called own water, or even political reason. Okay? Another reason why benefits of specialization may not be fully realized or achieved in the international market is because of resource constraint. You may be at a point of depletion of your non-renewable resources. Okay, so if you are near there already, then you may not want to fully specialize, or you may have other reasons why you don't want to fully specialize. And complete specialization also increases the vulnerability of an economy, because it's akin to putting all your eggs in one basket, subject to greater instability and economic growth. Employment, variety of jobs for labor, higher risk of structural unemployment. Should economy need to switch to new areas of specialization? Okay? Then last but not least, reasons why benefits of exchange are not fully achieved in the international market. So that's where we talk about international trade, trade protectionism, unfavorable terms of trade, unstable exchange rate, volatile exchange rate, unequal benefits from trade, as well as increased vulnerability to external shocks. Because if I trade, I may expose myself to external shocks more. So it may reduce willingness to engage in international trade. It could also see erosion of your comparative advantage. Alright, judgment. At the end of the day, use analysis to support an evaluative conclusion on what is the most likely what is the most likely cause of inefficient allocation of resources, which inhibit your specialization, or which is reasons for benefits not being achieved. right. Any questions?
So then the evaluation is based on what?
Based on whichever point you have, lah. It's for you to come up with your own judgment. Because there's so many points, you can choose any. Yeah. Which one? Which one? Trade lah. Which one lah? Okay.
So,
Yeah.
then for my evaluation, right, can I say I want cannot be fully achieved because some countries will abuse the free trade agreement to dump the product.
Huh? If you have free trade agreement, you can't dump.
But they can like sell their products at extremely low prices. Because of free trade, they don't need to. They can just.
But it's not free trade agreement, right? You don't talk.
Like if there's free trade,
Okay.
they can abuse free trade. So therefore, protectionism is justified, and thus the benefits of food the thing is can.
Okay. Any other questions?